Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another Gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at the high-grade Build Divers Gundam 00 Sky Heavy Weapon System Trans Am Infinity Mode. And seriously, Bandai seems to be going a bit crazy with the super long names of Gunpla lately. But anyway, as usual, if you do want one of these of your own, there is a link down there in the description, and you can get yours at Hobby Link Japan. Now, onto the review. So this right here is what the Gundam 00 Sky Heavy Weapon System Trans Am Infinity Mode looks like out of the box and just snapped together. Nothing extra added, no panel lining, no nothing. Because this right here is a kit we've seen multiple times before. So this right here is the third variation of the Gundam 00 Sky. Of course, the first one was the standard version, and the second one was the higher than Sky mode. The first was just your standard red, white, and blue and yellow Gundam style one. The higher than Sky then was a more intense colored and pearlescent variant. And finally, this one right here is your standard Trans Am looking pink gloss injection kit, kind of like we would have seen before with a lot of 00 kits. Of course, if you do want to see a full review of everything about this kit, because it is essentially the standard normal one just with color variation, you can check out the original 00 Sky review I did. This one right here is going to be a little bit abridged because, like I said, we've seen it before. Same goes with the 00 Sky, and I'll put a link to both of those reviews down in the description. So like I said already, this one right here is a Trans Am take on the standard version, as well as a heavier weapon loadout, hence the heavy weapon system. But we're going to take all those weapons off right now, we'll talk about them later, and just look at the kit itself. So there it is without the weapons attached, and this is just a color variant. We have that pearlescent pink gloss injection for the white sections, a pearlescent purple for what were the blue sections. The darker navy blue sections on the standard version have been changed to this really intense pinkish purple, almost magenta I guess, pearlescent color. This particular shade of purple on here is almost translucent and has a very almost not noticeable sparkle through it. So that is interesting and probably will not pick up on the camera. The red is a pearlescent red, and you guessed it, the yellow is a pearlescent yellow. And personally, I've never liked any of these Trans Am style kits. I think it looks really cheap. It really cheapens the whole general look. The pearlescent plastic just doesn't look good. You can kind of see where the pearlescent parts collect in the plastic, kind of giving it a wavy and kind of very cheap look in general. Once again, I have to admit, I really don't like this aesthetic. I prefer the standard one by far. But all in all, there isn't really a whole lot to say about this kit. We've seen this twice already, and besides the color, there's nothing new here. Of course, what makes the 00 Sky Heavy Weapon System the Heavy Weapon System variant is all these missile launchers all over the backpack, legs, and arms. This particular variant of 00 Sky is from episode 23 of Gundam Build Divers, and if you do want to see the heavy weapon system in action, that's where you'll see it. I'll put a link to the particular episode down there in the description. So now moving on to the accessories, and here's the 00 Sky Heavy Weapon System Trans Am Infinity Mode with everything that it comes with. And as you can see, and as you would expect from a kit that's called Heavy Weapon System, it comes with a whole lot of stuff. So in here we do have a whole lot of stuff we've seen already with the last two releases. Of course, that is a pair of beam sabers. These are fairly standard, just your regular beam sabers with standard beams, and they use the front sections of the side skirt as part of the handle, so they cannot be stored anywhere on the actual mobile suit. Next up then we have the beam rifle. We saw this already with the last two kits, so I won't go into any detail with this. And the exact same goes for both of these, which is the long rifle and the buster sword. Both two absolutely awesome weapons, can be stored up behind the GN drives when not in use. But once again, if you do want to know more about those particular weapons, that will be in the original 00 Sky review, again down in the description. And while I'm mentioning previous reviews and the two previous kits, this doesn't come with any of the effect parts from Higher Than Sky. So as of right now, the only place you can get the Sky Bracer and Sky Leg Guard effective parts is with the Higher Than Sky phase kit, which is a bit of a letdown. You think the last one they're releasing would come with everything, but this one doesn't. As for what is new in this kit, first off we do have one of those runnerless stands that just pops together really simply. And I will mention that this right here does need it, because once you pop on that heavy weapon system, this thing is incredibly back heavy. So as for the weapons that are new in here, the first thing we have is 4 of the multi-missile launcher. It is worth noting that the connection points on the back of these are reversible. We have these 3-prong connection points. These are for using with the bracers and the leg guards. They pop right in there like so. And this is basically what the kit will look like with these attached. But these are reversible like I just mentioned, so you can swap these around from a 3-pronged peg to your standard 3mm peg for if you want to use these with other kits, so that's pretty cool. And without a doubt, the main event of this kit is this absolutely colossal backpack, and this I think looks pretty damn sick. Once again, I'm not a huge fan of the pearlescent finish. I would like to see this in a standard plastic color, but then again, if you're someone who paints your kits, then this won't matter at all. But if you do want to use this with other kits, the pearlescent effect looks a little bit weird. But as for this backpack, it is made up of these large missile pods as well as the Lancer missiles. As for the articulation, these can be raised up over the shoulder. The missile pods cannot be moved separately to the Lancer missile launchers, they're attached onto them, but it is worth noting as well that the missiles from the Lancer missile launcher can be removed, which is pretty cool. As for the attachment point on this, it is just a 1-peg attachment point. But included in the box is a 1-peg to your standard 2-peg attachment point, so this can be used with other kits. Once again, it does have that pearlescent finish, which means it may look a little bit odd unless you're going to paint it. And finally then, just a brief note on the articulation. The articulation on this is exactly the same as we saw with the last two kits, which means it is impressive, and you're going to get pretty much anything you want from this. No real negative aspects at all besides that very common, blocky, no articulation Gundam torso. But all in all, pretty damn good. So finally, that is it for the review, and this right here is pretty much the same kit we've seen already with the 00 Sky and the 00 Sky Higher Than Sky phase, but to me, I feel it's not really as worth it. So I'm actually going to downgrade this one here from gold tier, which the other ones were, to silver. I really feel the Trans Amness doesn't look that good at all. The kind of folds of pearlescent in the plastic looks really cheap, and on the whole, it just doesn't feel that great. Personally, I honestly feel it would have been better if they released a Trans Am version of the 00 Sky as a P Bandai and release the heavy weapon system in its standard colors separately, because this, for anyone who is a straight builder, isn't really all that usable on other kits because of the pearl injection plastic that it has. It just doesn't look right. Honestly, if you are thinking of getting a 00 Sky, I do recommend either the standard one because it just looks fine, perfect even, or the Higher Than Sky phase because it doesn't look as garish as this kit right here does, and you get those awesome effect parts. This right here, to me at least, I feel really isn't all that awesome. However, if you do want one of your own, there is a link down there in the description. As always, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I'll see you next time.